I just wanted to wish everybody good morning. Welcome to Positive Pyjama Chats. It's great to have you with us. At Positive Pyjama Chats, what we've been chatting about is the power of happiness and really the quality of our health and our life that changes when we focus on being happy, which a lot of people have found really challenging during the COVID crisis. And what we've been looking at with our chats with Positive Pyjama Chats is looking closely at strategies that we can use to help us to stay positive and stay happy. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that one of the challenges we sometimes face is pain. And in the face of pain, sometimes it's really, really challenging to be positive and happy. So I would guess for most of us, we've had some kind of pain or another at various points in our life, whether that's muscular, broken bones, all sorts of things, could be even emotional, but that can really pose challenges for most people, and it can really be distracting and hard to focus on the positive and being happy when we're in such challenging times. It just makes that whole process harder. One of the types of pain that is very common for people to struggle with is headache pain. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. So a lot of people have struggled with pain from headaches over time, and whether they're clients or whether they're just simply human beings, headaches is a really common pain and can be one of the more distracting pains as well for us having our focus in positive energy and positive, just being positive and really getting through and having a fantastic experience in life, which is what we're really all focused on, wanting to improve life. Did you know that actually half to 3/4 of adults aged between 18 and 65 years of age in the world have had a headache in just the last 12 months? And among those, 30% or more have reported those to be migraines. Migraines are apparently, now I've not experienced them, but they are supposedly one of the most painful, most distracting, most life-affecting sorts of headaches that you can get. Would you agree, Alexis?
I also haven't had them, but having seen multiple clients with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just so impactful on life, on health, on everything. And according to the World Health Organization, they've been that common, just incredible. And up to 1.7 to 4% of the adult population suffer headaches 15 days out of every month. That's half a life. That is just astonishing. When I saw that statistic, I was just blown away. That's one of the things that really got my attention and was part of the impetus to discuss headaches today. What I did want to make clear, though, is that in this presentation today, it is for educational purposes only. The information that we discuss doesn't take into consideration your personal situation. It in no way replaces a professional consultation with somebody who is qualified as a health professional. We don't take responsibility for any potential results or lack thereof, loss, injury, or increased risk, either directly or indirectly, due to actions taken as a result of the information that we provide today. It's just to let you know that we are all heart. We know that what we're sharing can help, but we're not able to know exactly what details you have, what conditions are affecting you personally. So we just want to make sure that you are looking after you first and foremost. Alexis, thanks for joining us today. As my personal osteopath, you've been really influential in helping me through challenges and helping many of clients that I see with headaches as well. So thanks again for joining us today. You're here to share with us some information about headaches today, is that right?
Hopefully, yes. So hi everyone, thanks for having me. Yeah, so what I'd like to do is talk a little about headaches in general and the different types of headaches that you can get and the different pain presentations that they usually come up as. And then we'll take you through some of the times when it's important to seek a health professional's assistance. And then we'll go through a few extra interesting statistics about headaches. And as well as that, some of the common triggers that most of us tend to find can bring on a headache. And then finally, I'd like to talk about some of the things that can help you reduce the likelihood of getting the headaches, and even during an episode, bring down the pain a notch when that's appropriate. At the end of that, I'd really like to take you guys through something exciting that I've been working on. It's a way that I can assist many of you to support you and your headaches and reduce the likelihood of them coming back so frequently. So I hope that's okay with you guys.
Fabulous. Thanks, Alexis. That sounds really, really useful. There are many different types of headaches, aren't there? Absolutely,
yes. So, Sarah, many of us have suffered a type of headache that we might get when we're sick, like a sinus headache, or just compression of the head, sort of like a tension headache that you might get when you've got a cold or a flu. Many of us would probably also know what it's like to have a tension headache when we've been working too hard and too long, and it just brings on that pressure throughout your head. Or it can have the band around the crown of your head, just like a vice. Some people, especially those with glasses, might remember what it's like to have eye strain type headaches, and just that discomfort in your eyes, but it goes further back into your head and it seems like it's affecting your whole head and your ability to think.
Wow.
And then many people, as you've said just before, suffer from migraines and something called a cluster headache, which is a lot like a migraine, but they tend to last for days or even weeks at a time.
Wow.
And then there's something called a silent headache or a painless headache, and that can cause dizziness, numbness, tingling, nausea, brain fog, and you may not even realise that you're having a headache.
A silent headache, goodness.
So it doesn't have the characteristic head pain of a general headache.
Wow. Okay. So if it's silent and you're not getting those symptoms, can you explain what they are? I've heard of them, but I've never really worked out what they were.
So generally it's an irritation of the nerves of either the eye or of the vestibular, the inner ear. And so you get irritation in those nerves, causing the reflex nausea, causing lights and flashing and the sensitivity to light, which a lot of migraine sufferers will know. But you can have that without the headache. It can also cause, because of the vestibular system, that's the inner ear, so the balance, it can also create the dizziness and vertigo, which can be absolutely devastating.
Wow, that's seriously life-impacting. Gracious. Interesting. So can you talk to us through some of the common symptoms of headaches?
So basically a headache is pain in any part of the head, and its location is generally a major clue to the diagnosis of which type of headache you have. For example, when you have the pain around the middle of your face, behind the nose and cheeks, that's usually a sinus headache caused by either an infection in the sinuses or just congestion. So when you get the pain in the temples, that's most associated with migraines and cluster headaches, although you can get it from other things, and you can even get it from referred pain from tight muscles in the shoulders.
Right.
A lot of people get pain in the base of the head, and this is very common for people with, even with eye strain, but especially with cervicogenic, so neck related. So when you've got dysfunction in the upper levels of the vertebrae and they don't sit correctly, they trigger and irritate the nerves. And as well, there's also compression into the base of the head. And so that can create a lot of pain. The pain that is characteristic around the crown of the head with that real vice-like sensation, that tends to be characteristic of a tension type headache. And then you can have pain again around the temples, but usually a little bit forward and lower, so into the jaw. And that can also refer into the eyes and down through the whole of the jawbone and into the neck and behind the back of the head. And that's usually characteristic of TMJ, temporomandibular joint dysfunction, or TMD.
Wow. Okay. So lots of musculature, lots of structural things that are going on with the body, Alexis, lots of different pain patterns.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about some of the causes that for these pain patterns and how they can be diagnosed if we see a professional?
So with causes, there's many different factors, and as you suggested, it's affecting the muscles and the structure. So some of the causes are muscle imbalances and vertebral dysfunction, as well as problems with the eye actually being able to focus and that causing strain and irritation in the nerves. So that's another cause. But then there's also the possibility of having arterial and nerve issues that make the nervous system more likely to be irritable and cause those pain patterns. So when you've got those irritations in the nerve as compared to someone who doesn't, then you're going to be more susceptible to have attacks like a migraine. So headaches can also be caused from things that cause pressure in the brain. That could be from something like a stroke or an aneurysm or an infection or a tumour. So that can be either benign or cancerous. So because there are lots of different ways that your headache can come about and potentially dangerous factors, when you get a headache, if it's your first headache, you should really seek the advice of a health professional to try and work out what the cause is. If you get headaches, but then the episode that you're currently suffering is different and you can't necessarily explain why or how it's different, but it's different, it's worth checking that out. And if you just don't feel right, it's always a good way to decide to maybe get some support and to work out what's going on.
Have someone who doesn't have a headache actually help you to work out what was going on so that you get a clearer picture.
Yep. And so then if you do regularly get headaches, but you're taking prescription medications or you're seeing a health professional and getting consistent treatment for that, but you've been going and it's not making a difference, then you also want to go and get further testing. So when you present for a headache to any health professional, they really should be assessing some sort of a quick neurological assessment. So that doesn't mean you have to go to a neurologist. It just means they have to test the vestibular system and the cerebellum to make sure that they're functioning properly to rule out the basics.
Right.
So just on that note, if you do ever get intense pain that's different from anything that you've ever noticed before,
right,
and or if you're getting pain or weakness in the arm, part of your face starts to not work properly, or you can't form your words properly, you need to contact 000 straight away.
Could be a really major thing going on there.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So there's lots to consider here, Alexis. Lots of different aspects to headaches and safety, even when you have a headache. Can you tell us some more about the headaches themselves?
So just some basic facts, nothing very mind-blowing. So as you were discussing, migraines affect a large percentage of the population. So one source suggests that it's 10 to 15% of the adult population is regularly suffering from migraines.
Wow.
And tension-type headaches are even more common. So as you were saying that a large percentage of the population actually have a headache half the time.
That's incredible.
So at least 30% of the sufferers of migraine and tension-type headaches suffer more frequently than at least monthly. So that doesn't take into consideration the length of the episode, because that could be hours or a day or multiple days, but at least monthly, which is still substantial.
Absolutely. That's a big portion of your life.
That's right. So headaches do tend to affect females more often than males, and they don't really know why.
So it's not just hormonal?
I think that is a component for a lot of people, but no.
Wow.
Going back to one of the other interesting points is the frequency of episodes does tend to reduce after the age of 40, but that's male and female alike. So while that could have a potential hormonal reason, male and female alike, that kind of rules it out. But either way, you tend to be more likely in your 20s and 30s to get headaches, although the large percentage of the population getting it all the way through. So
scary.
So as you can imagine, headaches can be really debilitating.
Absolutely.
And especially if they're affecting you such a percentage of your life, you can see how the burden of the whole economic burden and the general healthcare system and the social and workplace activities.
Yeah.
So it affects people a huge amount and it has a huge cost on society.
Right.
The other interesting fact is that regardless of the type of headache, the majority of people with headaches will have upper cervical vertebra issues and muscle imbalances. So what that means is that even if you've got migraines that are caused by arterial and or neurological dysfunction, let me say, there will still be a neck component that means that you can help to reduce the frequency and severity and just tone down the body's irritability, basically.
Right.
Allow the body to function that little bit better, giving it a bit more resilience. So you don't necessarily have to just tip into pain all the time. And in my experience, also the way the shoulders and rib cage and thorax in general moves and functions, and those imbalances that can be there directly affect the neck, which directly affects the head. So for the clients that I see with headaches, you don't just work with the neck, but you also work further down.
Right.
And you'll also work with posture and their ergonomic situation to take away chronic sitting positions or chronic long-term lack of movement.
Right. So like with many things, it's not just a simple, small area that's involved, but treating the whole body. It's a really holistic,
absolutely
systematic or system impact.
Again, no matter what cause of the headache, you tend to have triggers that bring on a headache episode.
For sure.
And those triggers can be quite similar across the board. For example, every single one of them is definitely brought on largely by stress. So stress can be overworking or thinking too much.
Right.
Or social situations, or just a very specific situational response for you. But you can also have things like food intolerances or sensitivities, or a response to medication or even supplements. If your body tends towards inflammation, you're also more likely to have headaches. So by doing anything you can to reduce your body's inflammatory load, you're also likely to reduce your pain levels. So that's across the board, not just headaches. Posture and muscle imbalance, as well as vertebral dysfunction. And when we're talking muscle imbalance, you've got muscle weakness from either a pattern that's going on for you, or from a lack of movement and a lack of mobilizing the area.
Right.
So, when you don't use it, you lose it. The muscle starts to weaken and waste away, and then the alternating muscle on the other side, or however that works, will be too tight. So then that creates imbalances, which causes pulls on the vertebrae or whatever else. It can cause compression, and it can cause nerves to be compressed or to be stretched, both of which will cause irritation and pain. So while there are lots of triggers that we can look at, and they can appear to be the cause, because with stress comes a headache. With stress comes a headache.
Every time.
It's very easy to assume it's the stress that causes the headache.
Right.
So we just want to step back and notice that it's the stress that causes tension, muscle imbalances, spasms, and a persistent change in posture, or the change in posture is associated with the stress that you're going through. And this causes, again, muscle weaknesses, which will cause imbalance, and it causes reduced flexibility and mobility of specific joints. And then all those things are simmering under the surface, and then you just need a little push to nudge you over the edge to get pain.
Right. So they're all going on, and the stress is the trigger. It's the last straw,
right,
that changes everything, and then you get the real problem.
Right.
That's when you notice it. Right. Okay.
So you can understand then how anything that relieves stress and things like meditation and visualization can be beneficial.
Perfect. Wow. So Alexis, you've touched on a number of things that we can do to help reduce the frequency of intent and the frequency of the episodes and the intensity of those episodes of headaches. Can you expand on that a little bit? What else can we learn about? Because that's what Pyjama Chats is really all about. It's about what we can do to help ourselves. So what else can we do to make a real difference?
Right. So I'd love to. That's a very big question. So as I said, like stress, which is a trigger, not a cause, there are other triggers that we can begin to identify.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can identify them, we can then begin to reduce the impact of those, and then reduce the likelihood of further triggering our attacks. So we can work on the muscle imbalances, we can support our posture,
mm-hmm.
and we can move regularly. But there are things like lack of sleep and dehydration, long periods of inactivity, as I said, paying attention to the foods that we eat, the supplements that we're taking, and any medications that we're taking to see if there's also a correlation.
Right.
One of the things that we can do to work out what is triggering those pain episodes then, and be able to improve our control and how that impacts us, is by keeping a food, mood, poop, pain diary.
Gracious. Wow.
Right. So we don't have to do all that. We can just do a food and pain diary.
Mm-hmm.
But the more information that you get, the more information that you can use to sort through what's actually causing problems.
Right.
And if you're adding poop, then you're also working out more of the digestive system stuff, which is likely to be involved, but you don't have to take that step right now. So these insights can help us to see what's stressing our body and what's creating an inflammatory cycle. And it also helps us to become more aware of what's going on for us and take control of what's going on for us.
Right.
And it can, in the process, support us to improve our gut and our brain health. Because by reducing inflammation, just simply reducing inflammation, we can support our gut.
Wow.
And we can reduce the likelihood of numerous brain issues that tend to be age-related. So we can make sure we keep hydrated. We can avoid burning the candle at both ends. So that means if you know you're working hard and extra long hours, maybe setting time to catch up sleep.
Right.
Now, sleep isn't something that you can actually catch up, but you can do small bits, especially if it's close to the time of lack. So you can have short 20-minute naps, or you can do more meditations, or there are things that we can do to support getting deeper rest in periods of stress.
Mm.
And then if you know that sleep is an issue for you, difficulties waking up often or not getting to sleep easily, those sorts of things, then you can focus on ways of optimizing your sleep and creating the routine of sleep. Then you can obviously introduce relaxation exercises, especially on a day-to-day basis, to support your stress levels in general.
Mm.
And the next thing to do would be to set an alarm and to actually stop working for 5 seconds every 20 minutes or for 5 minutes every hour.
Right.
And all you need to do is move, breathe, stretch, take a moment. This allows you to increase your circulation to areas that haven't had it.
Mm-hmm.
It allows the muscles to stop spasming.
Right.
To get them moving again.
Yeah.
And the more often you do that, the less intense, wow, we're running out of time already. The less intense the spasm will be and the more chance of improving things. And it also supports the ligaments, because if you're holding them in the wrong way for a long period of time, they tend to actually stretch and then they deform. And then that does no longer support the position of the joint. So then you can add stretching and strengthening programs, and you can use myofascial tools to support the muscle imbalances and posture and mobility. You can add anti-inflammatory foods, and you can do a detox process to reduce heavy metals and other toxins that are inflammatory causing, and it also generally boosts your health. And you can also get treatment from a health practitioner. This will again support any specific issues that you have, and improve muscle imbalances and vertebral dysfunctions. It will support the jaw and general posture, and it will assist you in strengthening and more effectively.
Mm.
So the other thing that you can do during an episode, if it's right for you, so it has to be when you're not too irritable. So you can do a visualization or a meditation, and that will help you to relax and potentially soften the pain or allow you to cope with the pain better. You can do that with or without a guided version, so you can do it yourself, and that would be recommended if you have irritation of sound. You can do self-massage, again, if you're not too irritable, and you can do PNF stretches, which is a push, and then you're holding back towards the other direction.
So you're resisting that.
Correct, and relax, and then you can move it further to that direction. That allows the nerves to relax. It allows the muscles to relax, and it can cause a reset
So you're resetting parts of your body, particular targeted muscles and things that are causing the tension.
That's right. Yep.
Very impactful. Wow. So that's a big list. Very, very comprehensive. Brilliant, Alexis. Thank you. I'm sure we can all take away some really great ideas that we can apply and help clients apply if we have people that are actually suffering with headaches as well. You've also been discussing some amazing plans that you've got with me this week. We've been talking a lot about those plans. Would you like to share a few of those ideas that you've got?
Absolutely. So it's currently still a work in progress, but I'm working to create a fully online course to support people and help them to turn down their pain, specifically their headache pain.
Awesome.
So this takes the principles and gives you actual techniques and strategies to bust that pain cycle, to help you rid pain forever. Now, I generally hate it when people will say, rid pain forever. That's such a big statement. And I can't guarantee it'll work because there are so many factors that are missing, and I'm not speaking to you specifically to see what's going on for your situation. Plus, I can't control whether or not you'll take the principles and strategies that I teach and put them into practice for a while, inconsistently, or not even at all. So, but what I do know is that health and healing anywhere in the body, for any dis-ease state, it has the same basic principles. And so what I can help you guys do is to create a better baseline health, better resilience, and better vitality.
Excellent.
And that will help in all areas of your life. So when you have better health and resilience, then pain is reduced. And so over time, your episodes will reduce and the intensity will reduce until some point they can actually be gone forever. That is actually a possibility.
A real possibility. Gracious. Okay.
So the course that I'm creating will focus on the head and neck for posture and function and mobility and general reduction of pain. So I will take you through some PNF and MET style muscle activation to specifically work with the neck and mobility to release spasms and help reduce pain.
Awesome.
There'll be videos with self-massage for during an episode if you're okay with that, to help you release pain. And there'll be 3 visualizations.
Awesome.
So for helping relieve stress, for helping to reduce pain, and for helping you to heal your body. Then there'll be also videos with stretches and breathing techniques to help you on a day-to-day basis to get better muscle balance.
Great.
Then there'll be videos to show you with a foam roller and with a muscle mate, which is a specific myofascial tool to increase mobility and circulation and reduce muscle spasm, improving the whole movement of the rib cage and therefore your breathing ability and posture. It also then supports your head and neck. There'll be food, mood, poop, pain diary, anti-inflammatory foods that you should include in your diet on a regular basis, and adrenal supportive and anti-inflammatory supplements and how to take those.
Great.
A Facebook community so that we can support each other and keep you accountable for your actions. And then there'll be a live Q&A, a session with me to go through more specific things going on for you. You'll also be able to join our 10-day Move Into Summer Challenge, which is going to start on the 20th of November. And that's a simple 10-minute a day exercise to get you started.
To do that.
Me too. And then following on from that, a 10-day detox process starting on the 1st of December. Wow. So that is a complete package. It takes on a little bit of mindset and a lot of nutrition and body-based stuff to help reduce toxins, reduce pain, and improve your general vitality so that you can cope with life and be who you want to be. Oh, that says 48 hours. Whoops. So up until, that was the change. So up until the 19th of November, you can join us in all those activities, have the online extra information plus the live Q&A, Move Into Summer and detox process, all for $97.
Great value.
And I will have to email out the link because that was what was on there.
Oh.
So
we'll put that in the next newsletter for the Pyjama Chat.
So when we send out this replay, we'll have the actual link for you to connect on with that.
If you like it beforehand, if you'd like to take action today, just send a reply email to the notification that you got from this morning about the Pyjama Chat running today, and we'll get the info to you.
So I think that's it.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Alexis, for sharing all those great ideas, all those fantastic strategies that we can do to help ourselves, whether it's meditation, visualization, self-massage, all those different things that we can do. Really, really powerful. And of course, then there's your courses as well, if we'd like to expand on that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us to go through some headache strategies, what we can do about them, find out more about what is causing them in the first place. That was really so interesting. All those different muscles, different structures that impact it. I never really thought about a rib causing a headache. That was just a whole different ball game for me to realize that the body was, I know the body is all joined together, but that was just a really insightful piece of information. So thank you, Alexis. That's really, really great. We're going to run out of time in just a few moments, but I really, really wanted to thank everybody for being here to join us today with our session on headaches, how to deal with them, how to get better results in our dealings with clients as well, and what we can do for ourselves. So thank you again for being here today. And if you would like to get the information from Alexis, please do reply and we'll get that information out to you ASAP. That will be coming your way. It's great to see you all here today, and we've really enjoyed talking with you. We'll look forward to seeing you at the next Positive Pyjama Chats, which will be the first Wednesday in December. We'll be back on the first week again of the month. So thank you, Alexis, for sharing everything that you had. All those insights, really, really impactful. And I'm sure we'll be able to handle our headaches and our clients' headaches much, much better. So thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome. I hope it was useful. Thanks, everyone.